Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Britballin. As you can see, I'm on my own tonight. Well, I'm not actually on my own. I am going to be joined by Adam. Couldn't make it tonight. He's out coaching for the University of Sunderland, so he couldn't join us tonight. So we have roped in a fellow friend of the show and a friend of mine. Who's going to help me co-host to join with one of our guests tonight. So obviously this is episode 6. We've got a pretty decent guest in store tonight. And that's not just Jonny. So Jonny's going to join us. So Jonny, how you doing, mate? You okay?
Hi, mate. How's things? You all right?
Yeah, I'm not bad. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for coming on and helping me out. You might have to drag me up today, a bit poorly myself, bit under the weather. So we'll battle through this together, and hopefully our guest can drag us through this and make the show a belter.
Yeah, well, I'm told he's dragged a few TV shows through the years. So if you can't drag our two lazy asses over the line, there's something seriously wrong. So no, we're in good company, and I'm very pleased and very excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming back. Obviously, I think it's definitely worth having somebody else on at this moment. So I think we're just dragging it out, really, aren't we, mate?
Let's just get to it.
Yeah, let's get to it. So we're just going to welcome Vernon onto the show. Hi, Vernon. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, really good. Really good. Jonny, we've met before, right? We've got mutual friends.
Too many mutual friends.
Yeah.
Our first memory where we actually met, I was pissed as a fart in Revolution in Blackpool. And I looked over and I was with my mate Martin, who's from Wigan. He said to me, he says, "Hey, your mate Vernon's over there." I said, "He's not my mate." He was like, but he calls everyone your mate, as in like, "Oh yeah, there's your best mate."
Yeah. Our kid.
Our kid Vernon. Anyway, me being pissed, I went over. You went, "You're all right, pal," and you went, "How's things? You're right." And my mate turned to me, went, "Do you actually know him?" I went, "Oh, not a fucking clue. I don't think he knows me either." And I think that was it all night. I think we were sat there drinking all night, and
I think that's just your standard northern welcome, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. How's it going, mate? You all right? Next thing you know, you're 12 pints deep.
Exactly.
And a kebab.
Yeah.
Just me. Just me on the
That's why we play offensive line.
Oh yeah. No, so thanks very much for coming on, Vernon. Obviously, you know Jonny. You want to give everyone a quick introduction to yourself. Surprisingly to me, mate, a lot of people didn't even know you played American football. So this might be a revelation to some people here tonight. Some people might just know you off like the telly and stuff. We obviously know you from American football. So do you want to give yourself
I don't even know who's on the telly.
Do you want to give yourself a quick introduction? American football related introduction.
Yeah, I started playing American football in, what year was it? 1988, I think it was, when I played kitted youth football for the Manchester All-Stars, way back when in Fallowfield. And our first season, we won no games.
Class.
And then our second season, we won one game against the Glasgow Lions. And because we beat the Glasgow Lions, they then proceeded to lock us into our own changing rooms and try and kick off. So we literally got on the bus. Well, actually, we couldn't afford a bus. We all went up there in, I think it was 6 transit vans with no seats in, just vans. And we threw all our kit in the back of the transit vans. We didn't even get changed, and we got changed on the first services we came to on the way back, because that's what. It was a stereotypical Glasgow Lions welcome, I guess you could call it. So I played for the Manchester All-Stars for 2 years. Then I played for the Fylde Falcons. And then the last year of youth football, I played at the Manchester Spartans. And then I had a massive break. I didn't play at all. Still loved the game, still loved everything. Football stands for the game itself. And then I did a show for ITV2. And the premise of the show was these people, in inverted commas, celebrities, get to choose a challenge or a task or something that they think they'll never be able to do in their ordinary lives. And I said, well, why don't we put together the old 1988 Manchester All-Stars football team and play one more game at the average tender age of 42.
Oh.
Because I played when I was young. I started playing when I was 12 and 13, I think it was. And the eldest you could be in a youth team was 18. So I was playing American football with a load of 18-year-olds, and I hadn't even started puberty. So I thought, well, why don't we get the team back together and make this ITV show? Anyway, cut a long story short, Tony Allen, who is held in the highest of regard in British American football and NFL Europe, he was the head coach of the team that we were building together. And we started off with, we found 47 former Manchester All-Stars. And because no one had kept fit, we managed to field 12. And all the gaps were filled by London Warriors, a handful of London Blitz, and a few Manchester Titans, which was quite nice, actually, because it was that old tie in between the All-Stars and the Titans. And then after the game, Tony said, look, if you're still interested in playing, just come down to the Warriors and have a practice and just keep fit, because I was 36 at the time. And I'm quite obsessive compulsive. So once I got started, once I got training, that was it then. I'm like, well, I'm not turning up to make up numbers. I want to turn up and I want to start. And it took me, I think it took me 3 games to take the starting free safety position.
Wow.
Not bad, that, is it? For a decent team. For a decent team down there as well, aren't they?
Who, the Warriors? They've done all right.
Yeah, they're all right, aren't they? Not bad, are they?
No, they're pretty good.
I've had the privilege of playing against them the past 2 seasons in the semi-final. It's been pleasant. Obviously, lovely lads.
Well, the thing is with that game, I'm always torn because I still feel that the Titans have the DNA of the Manchester All-Stars.
Yeah.
That's why I always go to that game, because it means quite a bit to me emotionally, because if it wasn't for the All-Stars, my love for the game wouldn't exist. And I had 2 great coaches, the Walker brothers, Mike and Dave Walker. And the thing that they taught us was football integrity. As long as you train hard, as long as you work hard, as long as you know what you're doing on the field and give your best, that's all that matters. And that one season where we won no games, I swear to God, every single person that lost all those games in 88 went back in 89 because we loved it so much. And that's what was instilled in us. And the motto was respect all and fear none. And we did. We didn't fear anyone, and we respected everyone. And that kind of mindset was pretty much, it's very similar, actually, to what the mindset is at the Warriors. Because the Warriors are all about football. They're not about anything else. I think in the 4 years I played for the Warriors and the 10 years that I've been associated with the Warriors, I think they've had one social. And that to me typifies what that team is about. It's not about going out after the game and getting boozed up. It's not about, the team getting together and having an end of season party. It's not about that. It's about being the best on the field. And yeah, don't get me wrong, the lads do go out together, but there's never an official London Warriors end of season party, because it's all about, all right, well, let's have a party early February when we get ready for the next season. That's it. It's mental to think that, but it's all about football at the Warriors, nothing else. It's all about football.
Yeah. No, it comes across on the field as well, doesn't it? I mean, probably going to be a heavy Warriors chat, but, they do set the standard within British American football, don't they? I know we had a team meeting after getting beat by them last year where we had to reflect and say, you know what do we need to do to get there? What do we need to do over and above to get to where those boys are? Because they are just completely different. When you play them, you see that physically, the 3rd, 4th, 6th guy coming in, and believe it or not, they have that 6th guy is as good as that 1st guy, and it's not much of a drop off, really. No,
but I tell you what, I think what the difference is, and ever since I left, so I played 4 years from 2010 to 2014. And obviously kept in touch, very close contact with the team, because playing for the Warriors, and I mean this, it changed me as a person. It really did change me as a person for the better, because I met some great characters. That team was full of characters, full of great lads who worked hard off the field and worked hard on the field. So everyone was kind of surviving in their daily life, daily routine, and every emotion was reflected in the way that we played the game. It really was. And I know it sounds a bit soppy and a bit emotional, but the anger that the majority or a lot of those young men have on the field is reflected in what goes on in their day-to-day lives. And that really interested in me. And that's what changed me as a person, to see that on a weekly basis. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the Warriors. I fell in love with the guys, and because it reinvigorated me and my love for team sports. I didn't realize how much I missed it, and I obviously did. I think the reason every lad goes back in the gym, every lad trains hard, because they all want to start, and there's no excuses at the Warriors. You either put it in and get it out, or you don't put it in and you don't play. Simple as that.
Yeah, of course.
Vernon,
just a quick question on that. For Tony Allen, obviously the coach that he is, and the well-known coach that he is across Europe, especially, for him to approach you in what you might consider, what we would say maybe a charity game or a fun game or anything like that, but for him to come to you at the end of the game in one of those and ask you to come down to Warriors, would you arguably say that you dominated that game, or did you definitely stand out in that game?
In the ITV game, you mean?
Yeah.
I got 2 interceptions and broke one wide receiver's ribs. So yeah. No, I'm sorry. I got one interception. But the thing is, I mean, every Britball fan that's watching this, every guy and girl that plays the game, will understand in football there are 2 kinds of people. You either love the contact or you hate it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who make business decisions on the field because they've got to go to work on Monday.
Yeah, that's true.
And
that is very true.
A mile off. off. And
I tell you what, as well, when you're playing alongside them as well, you get a sense for it, don't you? We noticed that last year, and there's a couple of guys who, when you play it, especially when you're playing the Warriors, and these guys, they do go missing, don't they? You will have seen it on the football field when you go and play abroad. The guys who are good at training and talk the talk, and then as soon as they get smacked in the mouth by someone big, strong, fast, hard, played it for years, they go missing. I mean, I think there's a guy.
Yeah, they vanish.
Yeah. It's refreshing to hear, because for me that's how American football is played, isn't it? In this country, you've got to be able to accept that, and you've got to go and at least.
I think like I've watched every playoff run of the Warriors since I left, and I've been to a handful of regular season games. And the one thing that I think is missing now is the noise of the game, the noise of Britball. We played some pretty iconic games against the London Blitz in my 4-year tenure at free safety. And those were physical games. Like, I think there was a concussion or 2 every quarter, limbs flying everywhere, a lot of beef on the field, really aggressive physical football. Lots of head-to-head collision. And that seems to have vanished a little bit. There's still the odd psychopath that runs around using his head as a battering ram, but I literally revel in those moments where guys are willing to put it on the line, because we should pride ourselves in that we play a physical sport, and the same as the rugby boys on a Sunday. You put your body on the line. You're not getting paid. You do it for the love of the game, the passion of the sport. And when you wake up on a Monday morning and you've got, let's say you've had a stinger during the game, you wake up on a Monday and you've had a stinger.
Yeah.
You've got no feeling down the back of your neck. There's a ringing between your ears. And you're like, oh, that was a good game. That was a good game.
Yeah. You can see the number imprinted who hit you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Then, would you say, sorry to jump in on there, would you say part of the reason why that's gone is because so many of the London lads have potentially gone and played abroad?
No, I think it's just the way the game has changed.
Right.
I think it's the way the game has changed, personally. I think everyone is more aware now of the health and safety issue between helmet-to-helmet contact. Everyone's aware of the rules that, it's a 15-yard penalty, unsportsmanlike conduct, which, by the way, on the record, I think is bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
If you don't want someone to use a helmet as a weapon, get rid of it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I
my
agree.
opinion. That's my opinion. It's controversial, but that's my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, because I'll be honest with you, when the first series of downs, if it wasn't the blitz, I would always pick an offensive lineman, and even if it was a run play, I wouldn't slow down, and I'd just hit him as hard as I could, because for me personally, you need to get that sense of that ringing. You need to hear your face cage rattle, and then I'm locked in. I'm in then.
Yeah.
I know it's a physical game, and I'm ready to go. And that only backfired once against the blitz, where I think I broke my jaw, or my jaw was locked, and I had to literally punch myself to put it back in. It was the weirdest, because no one wants to sit out a London Blitz game when you're a London Warrior. It's the best game ever to be a part of.
Yeah.
And I've got a jaw like this. I'm thinking, I can't, it won't move. It genuinely just stuck there. And I'm like, I have to smack myself to put it back. But it's all the fun of the fair. But that's so yeah. So going back to what I was saying, there are two kinds of people: those that love the contact, those that don't like the contact, and you can spot them a mile off. And that's what I think. That's what Tony saw. That I just loved. I always thought on the field that I was like Ronnie Lott, or those kind of free safeties that love the physical. I never was, but in my mindset I was.
Yeah.
It's funny that, because I always used to find the safety and always rattle him first play as well, just to let him know.
Well, safeties are just receivers that can't catch.
Yeah.
I can't catch the safety, so I just hit the biggest lineman in front of me. No, perfect. So, I mean, it's good that it shows. One of the things that stands out to me there is you can tell, even where you're talking there, you played the game. There's a lot of people, when you're talking to about it and you're breaking down about the game and playing the game, it's that you get it, don't you? It's that you need to feel that aggression. There's something about first play for me, I can never get fully into it. I need to get either hit or be the hitter, and then you start to warm up into it, and then, I don't mind getting a bit chippy and looking for a bit of extra. And I think that for me is part of the game. And you're right, it is going out the game, that I think, a little bit. Definitely going out the game a little bit.
Yeah, I think kids pride themselves on what face mask they're wearing, or what model of Riddell helmet or Schutt helmet or whatever helmet they're wearing, whether it looks good and this, that, and the other. And that's the best thing about the Warriors. The Warriors were the worst dressed team in the league.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Shocking until they got their new uniforms. Because it goes back to what I was talking about before. It's just about the football. Like, the Warriors would turn up, if they could, in just shorts and T-shirt and play. Yeah. Because that's how much they love football. Because you've got the best coaches. When you've got the best coaches and you're playing a sport for fun, that you compete on a Sunday. But when you realise that these coaches have played in the NFL, they represented the NFL. Marv Allen won a Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So am I going to listen to what he's telling me? Yes. Probably. Of course I am.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Tony Allen was the head of international player development for NFL Europe for 15 years. So when Tony says that was bullshit, Vern, what are you going to do? I'm going to listen, and I'm going to correct whatever was bullshit.
Absolutely.
And Jeff, we got an amazing cast of coaches, and all you can do is learn. Like, everyday training was an education. It wasn't just throwing a ball around or backpedaling or doing some tackling drill or this, that, and the other. It was an education. It was an hour and a half, 2 hours of learning about the intricacies of American football. Because I guarantee every single team knows how to do man coverage, cover 2, and possibly cover 3. Those are the 3 basic coverages for defensive backs. But at the Warriors, we had like 6 different coverages, maybe 7, 8, or 9. I'm like, hang on a minute, what is this? We'd run cover 2 on one side, we'd run man coverage on the other. We'd have a third of the field would be this, a third of the field would be that, and a third of the field would be something else. I'm like, oh my God, this is outrageous. Yeah. But it's all really well constructed, all well thought out, and it paid off in the end. It was bloody good fun, and boy, do I miss it.
What is it? What they were doing?
Cover 4.
Cover
I tell you,
3-1.
Jonny, I couldn't even remember any of it.
Don't bother.
It's all right. You could tell me. I still wouldn't know it anyway.
I know. I was going to say Tony Allen could tell us the play, every single play before the play, and you still couldn't stop it. That's what's so bloody good about them.
Oh, the thing is, like, I watch the Warriors now, and I'm gutted that I can't test my mettle against our running backs, because the Warriors running backs, Raymond, Dwayne, and all the other lads, and I apologise for forgetting their names, but I've got a terrible memory because of this stupid game. But I would have loved to have tested my mettle against those guys, because they're physical, they're fast, they love the contact. They're our running backs are the kind of players that I want in every position.
Yeah.
Physical lads who love the contact. Like, we had a linebacking core. We had the guy called Ariel, who, if people go to my Instagram post, I posted a video of him, and I would say that it's probably the best American football play in British American football history, where the blitz through, I think it was a post to one of their receivers. He catches the ball, I miss the tackle, and then Ariel comes from nowhere and punches the ball out of his arms at the 2-yard line. Considering this play started at their 35-yard line, it's unbelievable. And it's that, I mean, I'm a huge advert for the Warriors, and I apologise if I'm boring everyone, but to be a part of it, it's such a footballing experience that I'll never forget. And that's why I still, to this day, I feel I'm a part of the team, even though I'm like probably the best cheerleader that they've got. The only cheerleader.
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, we've done shows about that in the past. Like, the reason the Warriors and the Blitz and Tamworth, and those three teams are always going to be spoke about, is because they're all so good. That they are the elite. So if you don't like it, get as good, or don't complain about it.
It annoys me when people say, "Oh, is it right or is it wrong for players to go to the Warriors because they're national champions for so many years in a row?" And I'm like, well, just because you go there doesn't mean you're going to play. And if I was a player, I would want to go there because it's obvious that they're teaching their players the best American football in Great Britain. So why wouldn't you want to go there if you had the facilities, ways, and means to get there? I always say that if you're going to do something, do it properly. And I was lucky that it was Tony Allen who was in charge of the Warriors, and I was lucky I did that TV program with him, because not only is Tony an amazing football guy, but he is probably one of the nicest guys I know. Like Phoebe, my eldest daughter, still talks about him because he's he's genuinely a top guy. He really is. And you can sit and listen to him talk 24/7.
Yeah,
I've actually had the pleasure of meeting him.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Yeah, we're going to, hopefully, I mean, you can pull a few strings. If you can, we won't get him on in a couple of weeks, actually. Leveraging you to get Tony Allen on.
Yeah.
That's how big he's got now.
I'm sure because he's a wealth of experience, and Tony lets people chew his ear off, and he'll give them advice, because he's all about growing the game. Even though he's passionate about the Warriors and the NFL Academy, he wants people to learn about the game, and that's what's really important. Is how can we embrace Britball Nation, and how can we make the quality of our football better? And the only way we can do that is by sharing information, by scrimmaging each other. Let's be honest, if you scrimmage another team, it's going to go on, because you get the free opportunity to fire shots at people. But if you step back from the physicality of it and the first 10 minutes of thinking, we're going to pound these, you're there to learn from each other. And we did I think it was the first Britball I ever won, we did some scrimmaging with the Lancashire Wolverines. And that was the season before I'd joined. Yeah, that's right, Jonny.
Actually.
Yeah. And that was an amazing experience, because we got to try a few plays. I'm sure, and I hope the Wolverines learned a lot from scrimmaging with the Warriors. And it should happen more often. We always try, or I've heard that we always try to scrimmage against the Blitz, but they'd have none of it. And I don't understand why. Surely you want to learn from your sharpest rival. I mean, if that's not true, then I apologise, but it's a rumour that I heard. And I don't see what the problem is between scrimmaging with the best team. You know, and the London Blitz, for a period of time, were the best team.
For a period, it seems that I've spoken to a couple of Blitz guys who think the tides are going to change back to the Blitz. It'll be interesting to see that. Just kind of create some fuel there for you, Vern. Sorry, we're keeping you up, mate.
Yeah, you must hear that all the time, yeah. So
I'll tell you what, right? I'm not here to moan or bitch about the Blitz, but I'm going to moan and bitch about the Blitz.
It's your show, mate, Evan.
Exactly. As soon as the Blitz get off their own high horse, that's when they'll win.
Wow, heard it here first.
There you go.
Well, probably didn't hear it here first, actually, but
than the London Blitz.
Biggest fans of the Blitz.
I love the Blitz. They are like, they're a great outfit, they're a great club, they're a great team, and they've got great guys. And they play really good American football. That's why I love them, because my fondest memories of Britball will always be playing the London Blitz. And the best 2 games I ever played were the 2 games that we lost, because both of them changed the players' mentality and both of them changed the London Warriors as a team, because the Blitz were damn good. They absolutely schooled us. Like, they owned us, they packaged us up, they put us in a lovely little parcel, and they sent us away to nowhere land. They absolutely beasted us, and it was embarrassing because we've beaten them. I think we've beaten them in the season, and they give us a right good hiding. And that dressing room after that game in 2012 was horrible. It was absolutely horrific. But that first practice back was probably one of the best practices I've ever attended. The following year. That was something special. That was probably the most physical practice I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, just moving on, I think you have nailed most of this question, actually, but I'm going to ask you it anyway, just in case you have actually got anything more. It's a bit of a 2-parter. Now, I actually didn't know you played back then. Just to make you feel old, by the way, when you first started playing American football, we weren't even born. So just going to put that one out there for you. As soon as I heard it, I thought,
doesn't matter. If I look anything close to him at his age, I think I'll be very happy and so will my partner.
Hey, listen, if I look like that tomorrow, I'll be happy.
Imagine playing for the Manchester All-Stars when the Stone Roses had just come out.
Jesus.
I know. I know.
I thought there'd be people listening to this thing, and I'd be judging them, thinking, "Oh, you know, they seem really young and novel about things," and then it's me and you, Jonny, who are actually being that person.
It's just us. We're your biggest fans, I guess, now. So So anyway, one of the things that I did ask you. Obviously, it's going to be a 2-parter. It's almost like take that. I want then and I want now, if you will. Mind the pun.
Yeah.
What is your best memory in Britball? So back then, before we were born, and in the 4 years that you have obviously mentioned coming back to the Warriors, what are some of your best memories?
Best memory for the All-Stars, and I know this sounds soppy, but it was meeting guys who I'm still really, really good friends with today. Like one of them, the middle linebacker who I talked to, John, he does all my mum and dad's DIY for him. Mike is still a really, really good friend. We talk a lot. He's a security dude, top fella. And I think I was so young that meeting those guys was a real kind of stepping stone for me as a person. Like football has kind of has been pivotal into the person that I am, because I've made great friends from backgrounds that I wasn't akin to. I'm from a working class background. Dad's a lorry driver. Mum worked in a department store. and I'm mixing with lads who are factory workers from Oldham and Fallowfield and Central Manchester, you know. So I grew up with those guys, 18-year-old lads, and I had a right laugh every I think training for the All-Stars was Thursday, and it was the same on Sunday. We'd play Sunday, and if we weren't playing, we'd practice. So I think it's all those relationships that you make, those friendships, you know, that you build in a team sport. And that's my fondest memory from I can't remember. I had a really good time playing. I think the one game I didn't make any tackles, but had one interception, and that was like, yes, that was the best thing ever. And then as I started to grow, my body changed. I got a bit more physical as a player, and then that's where it kind of rolls into the Warriors. And my fondest memory of the Warriors, it's got to be losing to the Blitz.
Wow.
I know it sounds weird, but losing those Britballs were massive for us as a team. You know, because ever since then, apart from the glitch against Tamworth, no disrespect to Tamworth, it was a great victory, and they deserved the Britball win against the Blitz.
I think we've got a couple of Blitz boys commenting here as well. You can see in the corner, Oliver Bishop, laughing face.
Oh, Ollie, listen, let me tell you. Like, Oliver, to me, top fella. Like, he physical football player. That's what Britball is all about, those kind of players. He's one I would put on a list of one of the best competitors that I've faced, because he used to play running back as well, you see.
I watched a video with him the other day. Jesus, he's a unit.
The man's a big I keep messaging him saying, dude, you've got to go back to playing football. Sure. Yeah. I mean, the stuff that he's put, like the amount of weight he's putting between his legs and doing pull-ups, it's obscene. All right, Bish.
Crazy.
Yeah, so yeah, because those two losses to the Blitz kind of it took the handbrake off the Warriors ever since.
Yeah, change team.
And all those Blitz lads, listen, all those Blitz lads know, because they fire as many shots as we do. It's all in good fun. Sometimes.
Yeah, it's got to be. If it's not a rivalry. If it's not friendly and the opposite.
It's the best rivalry ever,
yeah.
And it's so much fun, and it's great if you're winning. It's terrible if you're losing. But look at him, appreciate the guy. Listen, love you, man. It's one of those things. It's the best rivalry ever. It really is.
Yeah.
It's on a par with, I think it's the modern day version of the London Olympians and the London Ravens.
Yeah. Who would you say then is your kind of like best player you played with or witnessed playing? You mentioned a couple of people there. Even if he's not been a teammate, who's been that standout person for you?
I think everyone in Britball who faced Ariel, our middle linebacker, will know that they've faced Ariel, our middle linebacker. And I think he would have gone on to play Ariel Mapondo. I think he would have gone on to play in NFL Europe if it hadn't have closed. And those are the kind of athletes that we had at the Warriors. Watching F.A. Obada's journey has been unbelievable. Really proud of that. And watching F.A. develop and grow as a person, and his work ethic is second to none. And I think that's what all the Britball community can take from F.A.'s journey is how much hard work and how much effort he puts into his success, which is phenomenal. It really is phenomenal. There's no other word to describe it. You know, that's what we can all take from his journey. Take that from F.A.'s journey is his work ethic. It's phenomenal. And
when he played at the Warriors, did you notice him? Did he stand out?
You're joking. The guy is 6'6". He's built like the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, but they all are at the Warriors.
I know, yeah. He was probably the smallest on the team then.
Yeah. No, you knew straight away because we all know that American football is a statistics and a numerical game. You know, when it comes to your physical attributes, shall we say? Yeah. And he's tall. He's got long levers. Big hands, muscular guy. And I think it's a great advert for what the NFL Academy is trying to do, even though the NFL Academy wasn't around then. But it's just take those kids that have got the physical attributes to play American football.
Yeah.
And it works. It really does. But I played with, like, you know I keep having a laugh and a bit of fun with the Blitz. But
carry on.
one person that really stands out for me is old quarterback, Fred Boyle. What a competitor. A great arm. He loved physical contact, even as the quarterback. He was never, ever shy of putting his head in the mix. Their receiving core was probably the most physical receiving core I've ever faced. They loved a bit of a ruck. Former Gladiator Rod Bradley, what a really nice bloke he was. Great guy on the field. Tough to play against. Another, like, as soon as I saw him walk on the field, I'm like, oh my God, this guy's absolutely monstrous. Like, his biceps were like quads. Good wide receiver. They had a guy called Clive as well. He was physical, loved getting stuck in. So I as much as I give him a lot of grief, I have nothing but respect for the London Blitz. Nothing but respect for the teams that I played.
No, that's good. That's good to hear. I'm sure, obviously, they'll have it back as well. Obviously, anyone who wants to be the best, you've got to aspire to knock the best off their perch, I guess. So
they'll be firing shots now. I know they will.
You will. Yeah, I can imagine. Definitely will.
I have to give Adam a shout out here. He's put his sad face. So Adam's usually co-host here tonight, Vernon, and he can't be here tonight because he's doing a training session with Sunderland. So we'll have to give him his 2 minutes of glory. So don't worry. That's it. A nice thumbs up for him. I'm sure he'll be happy and he can get back to doing what he does, which is coaching. Anyway, thanks, Adam.
That says a lot about Adam, to be fair. In the short amount of time I've known Adam, for guests like yourself to be on with this, for him was absolutely massive. And to say that he's committed to coaching, not playing, he's sat back there coaching, and not here doing the things, that's it's a huge shout, that, and massive testament to Adam. But no, that's fair play.
That kind of attitude is what Britball is built upon.
Absolutely.
Because none of us get paid. We all love the sport. We all love the rivalry, as you've witnessed with the Blitz. We all love the banter, but we all take it really serious, and that's something that we shouldn't forget. Because all these forums and all these forums where people's wrong on a minute. Who are we and what are we as a community? What do we want to achieve in British American football? Those are the questions we should be asking ourselves. Set ourselves like a 10, 15-year plan and try and establish ourselves as a league, look after the players. And because there's one thing that every Britball player wants, and that's the quality of American football in Britain to get better. It's as simple as that. We don't want it to be dog dirt. We don't want Americans to come over and laugh at us. We want Americans to see that we're trying to improve the level and the standard of American football in Britain. And that's why I always revert back to those London Blitz, London Warriors rivalry, because we had great players who were both physical and great players who could play the game,
Yeah. You touched a little bit on it there. One thing that, there will be a lot of quote unquote rookies watching this, a lot of first year guys, definitely a lot of uni players that follow the channel and listen to the show quite a lot. I think a lot of them I will be asking on their behalf, really, is if you've got any top advice other than just turn up and smashing shit out of everyone that you can do. Thanks for catching me. If there's any advice that you could give to someone brand new into this, what would it be? It doesn't just have to be one thing, but just a general layout.
Well, firstly, the one thing is, like, get in the gym. Get in the gym, because the pads and the helmet only protect you so much, and it is a physical sport. Because one day you will run into, or someone like a Dwayne, running back at the Warriors, or Raymond, the running back at one day. And if you're not physically built for that, you're going to get hurt. So number one, get in the gym, bang on the protein and all that stuff. And then secondly, learn the game. Like, it's all well and good watching NFL on Sunday or Saturday, the highlights with OC and Jason, and then switching on to Neil Reynolds on a Sunday. It's all well and good watching the games. But if you can, try and get hold of some game film of NFL football teams. Like, I think they do it on Game Pass. I don't know what Game Pass is like this year, but I don't have it this year. But on Game Pass, they have play-by-play where you can see an overextended view of the field. From a defensive back's perspective, you can really study what coverage they're in, what the DBs are looking at, and really get to know the game. And once the game becomes second nature, that's when you can start to play and have fun. As soon as you start thinking on a football field, you're going to get hurt.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think
there is a huge part of football initiative and instinct. That people say instinct. It's something that you're born with. You have a natural instinct as players like Ariel. I've played against him as well at GB. I definitely know he has a natural instinct. He has a natural instinct for the ball, and he will go and find it. And if not, he will find someone at least. But I think
that comment was just about you played GB against Ariel. Thanks for that, Johnny.
Yeah, sorry, I thought I'd just throw that in really quick. To be honest,
I thought I heard that wrong, but he did actually say GB, right?
Yeah,
it did. Yeah.
Have you got your top on or shorts at the minute?
Absolutely not. No. I couldn't do that. But I'd be an absolute idiot for that one.
Johnny, just today, keep your clothes on, dude.
Oh right. Yeah, someone knows.
There we know.
Someone knows. Yeah,
Story
someone
time.
knows. Well, that's story time. Most people in Britballin know anyway. So
yeah,
I'm not plugging the Dream Boys at this. That's the Dream Boys, by the way. I'm not plugging that one. So no, that would be a good one to know. But no, you definitely have to have football instinct.
I did wonder how you knew each other.
Johnny's
got a log. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Change the room.
Anyway, let's go.
I know. I suppose a bit of getting on to the NFL side that you touched on it there. If you could play for an NFL team, who would you play for, and would you play safety?
I'd play for if I could go in a time machine, I'd go and play for the 1970s Oakland Raiders.
Or would you play safety?
Yeah, safety is the only position I know. Because when I was a kid, I saw this video of Jerry Rice, and it was Jerry Rice, and what he used to do as a kid was he'd lie on his back and he'd throw house bricks up and catch them. Just like throw up and catch them. And I wasn't brave enough to do house bricks, so I just got an American football and you ask my mum and dad every day, as soon as I get in from school, I just lie on the front room floor and just throw the ball up and catch it for an hour and end, just catching them all. So I had pretty good hands, but I didn't want to be a wide receiver. I wanted to. My idol in American football was Ronnie Lott, and then free safety for the 49ers, absolute beast of a player.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to try and replicate that physical contact that he imposed on opposing players, offensive players. But I think any American football fan, if you go through the history of the game, surely everyone wants to play for the 1970s Oakland Raiders. Just nasty play.
Yeah, I don't know if I was built for football back then.
Well, everyone was jacked, and everyone seemed like, from the documentaries I've seen and the books I've read, everyone was just high as a kite on either painkillers or recreational drugs.
Sounds like a better time, doesn't it? Johnny, if it helps, mate, your prayers have been answered. So this is head coach of Great Britain's men's team, Jason Scott. He's actually watching. So if you want to do yourself a little plug that you're interested in GB, it's your chance here, mate.
GB's behind me. I'm sure you know.
Get involved, Johnny. Plug yourself. Jason, he'd love to play.
I'll just check my diary. 1 sec. Got too many things on.
I've got something to put.
But also, we should give Jason props, because if you look at what he's achieved and the way he's achieved it, you can't do anything but doff your cap.
No. We had him on last week, actually. He was brilliant.
Yeah. People can think what they want about the Phoenix, but is someone making the dinner?
After mute it.
What was that?
That's classic Mike. That classic Mike.
But yeah, so you know, I doff my cap to Jason, and I wish him and GB all the best success in the world, because we've got the athletes, we've got the players, we've got the knowledge of the game. I think now that our team GB has to kick on and go and prove itself.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. I've got a question for you both, and I'm going to hand it over straight to you two. So you've got to pick an NFL flag team. You can pick 5 guys, anyone in the NFL, not outside of the NFL, just in the NFL at the minute. Quarterback, centre, 3 receivers. Your centre could be a running back, for example, and then that's your team. So I chose one last night. So do you want me to give you my 5 to get the juices flowing, or do you just want to go?
Is it past and present?
Just present, because you've been there all night, Vern.
All right.
I'll let you have, just because you're a guest, if you want to go past and bring them in, I'll let you off. Jonny, you're present.
No, it's all right. I'll do present.
You're present. Right, go on.
Yeah,
go on, you can go first then, Vern.
All right, you give me a position and I'll give you a player.
Quarterback.
Tom Brady.
Oh.
Even at flag, don't forget, he might have to play a bit of defence here.
Yeah.
Tom Brady. Because I know I said that the Warriors didn't go socialising. Forget flag football. Who wouldn't want to walk into a bar with Tom Brady?
Yeah, that's true.
It's true. He looks like a cool dude as well, doesn't he?
Oh, one of the nicest guys apparently on the planet. Really, really genuine guy. So Tom Brady. I'd have Ray Lewis at centre. Oh, that's past. I apologise. I'd have one of the Pouncey brothers at centre.
Yeah.
They're quite quick. Receivers, I like what's he called? Lamb from the Cowboys.
Yeah. CD Lamb.
CD Lamb, yeah. I'd have Metcalf from the Seahawks at receiver as well. DK Metcalf.
He's just a beast.
Yeah, he is a beast. I'd have Kittle on there, and who else would I? Not Zach Ertz. I'd have Kittle and Kelsey as my receivers, and then on the outside, CD Lamb and DK Metcalf, Pouncey as centre, Brady as quarterback. How many is that? 2, 4.
No, that's 5.
6. I think that's 6, isn't it?
Plenty for you. That you can have 6.
Get rid of one of them receivers.
The CD Lamb's cut. DK Metcalf's a beast anyway, so you can keep him.
I'll put a spin on it then. Quick spin on that. Who would be your head coach? Sorry, did that come from
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid?
The Walrus, like that.
I like
The Walrus.
I like Andy Reid. Oh, yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Yeah, go with Andy Reid. Seems like a nice guy.
Andy Reid.
Yeah. We're getting a bit of grief for the dinner making in the background there. I do apologise.
It is a bit late.
Thanks for absolutely outing me there, Vernon, as well. Classic.
Well, it was
Classic Northerner.
Was it, buddy?
No, exactly. It wasn't me making it. I'm not that skilled.
Right.
Did you live with your mum?
Go on, dig him out.
Dig him out. Get outed. Well, my house is being built, Vern, but thanks. You know, I'm struggling at the minute. House is being built. I've just lost one, but you know, I'm struggling, mate. Thanks for airing that.
Hang on. Let's not get too personal, but I'm struggling at the minute. My house is being built.
He's going for a new build.
What level of struggle are you on, my friend?
I mean, if it helps, Johnny's also getting one, and his is worth more. There we go.
We're buying a house, but my house is already built.
Yeah, in the North's favour.
Yeah, mine's definitely not too far out. But right, let me think who we've got. I like different players. I like out there, edgy players almost. So if I'm going QB, and I'm purely thinking, I always think logical because I'm weird like that. So I need to think people who are going to play both sides of the ball. So if I'm going QB. No, Vernon's not logical. I knew that before the show started. I can tell you that. At QB, I would go with Russell Wilson. I think he's just the coolest quarterback in the league by a country mile, and he's like a better version of what RG3 tried to be, almost.
I think he'd be annoying in the locker room.
No,
I'll put it out there.
He'd be praying, surely.
No, he'd be too positive. He'd be like, "Oh, come on, guys, yeah, come on." I'm like, come on, let's just chill out. We've just been beat. I don't need that hype talk.
No, I agree.
Liverpool.
He did. Do you know what? Here's a fun one for you. He got married at a place that we were actually going to get married at. And then when I realised that he got married there, I realised that it was probably going to be way too expensive for us, so we're not getting married there anymore. Yeah, it was a really nice place, just outside Liverpool. It is. Yeah,
Get that
towards Wellington area.
I know. Yeah. Thought this was about football. Nice.
He's always got a comment, Joe. Right, playing centre, I would have. Who would we have? I'd go with. Yeah, sorry. I would go with Kelsey from the Eagles. He's a massive character. If you obviously remember from the Super Bowl and he turned up in his, this is not logical because it's nothing to do with the way he plays. This is just the way he is. He turned up in that massive weird outfit, but he's absolutely mental. And me being a centre, I know that's what you need from a centre. So he's definitely there. Playing
two wide receivers.
Two wide receivers.
Yeah.
Do I not get three? Is it not five aside?
You get two. We're all just,
I'll get
we're trying to get on with it, Johnny. You want us to come back to you?
I'd have Larry Fitzgerald, just because he's got an old head on him.
Top bloke.
Yeah, you say that like you know him. I play with him on Madden. He seems to do well for me, so I'd definitely have him on there. And I would probably also have Evans from the Bucks. I watched a video of him on Instagram earlier, absolutely destroying someone, and then just running back to the line of scrimmage like it was absolutely nothing. They're the players that you need.
Different opinion on Mike Evans. I watched him when he came over to Wembley against the Panthers. Just seeing this stuff off the ball, I didn't like him. I think he was lazy in between plays, took plays off. He did make the splash plays, but didn't. Maybe it's just the last impression with me personally. I don't know. Didn't seem
not been
to
that
be
productive though this season, has he?
No. Well, he's got Tom Brady thrown to him. He won't be, will he?
No.
Jonathan. Leave Thomas alone.
My mum's in the comment section again.
Should we give her a shout out? Come on, old Leanne. I'll be your wide receiver if I can sit next to Vernon on the coach. Well, Johnny's mum's flirting with Vernon.
Yeah.
Right, so I've got a bit of a.
We could do a Sudoku together.
Oh, she'd love that. Worryingly, she'd love that.
I've got a bit of a game for you. Vernon, you might know something about this. Called Football Family Fortunes, right?
Fire away.
So I'm going to give you a title, and between yous, you get a go each, and obviously you know how the game works, so you're probably better at explaining to me. You get a point each. So if you get, instead of it, you get all five at once. It's alternate goals, so you get to guess each, yeah? So Vernon first, then Johnny, you get five. We've got five. This has been chose from, we didn't survey 100 people, surveyed 4 people in my house at the moment. So this is it. So first thing is things you would find on a football sideline. Things you would find on a football sideline. Well, Vernon first. So what are the top 5 things you would find on a football sideline?
Down markers, the chains. Let's go with the chains.
Down markers, correct. That is 1 point to Vernon. Well done, Vernon. 1-0.
I will go with helmets.
No, your helmet. That is not one of the most popular things on the sideline. No, you're wrong.
Wait, we're not playing pointless, are we?
No.
Right,
wrong game. Most popular things on the sideline.
Players, the team.
The team.
Players.
I mean, I look stupid now for not having it in, so I'm going to have to give you a point because why would there not be players on the sideline? So yeah, 2-0.
There you go.
Done it.
Oh, fucking hell. Why is it so hard? Something you find on the sideline. Water bottles.
Oh, I was going to say
Water bottles, yeah. That is one of the ones I've got here. The water
Get in.
bottles, correct.
Are we talking NFL or Britball?
Just your average brick ball, I think. So yeah, it's 2-1 Vernon.
Yeah.
3-2 to get.
You've got to go the medical bag, which would contain deep heat, bandages, and pre-workout.
Hang on.
The problem is
You
you've
can
got
see
here,
someone who's played this game before.
Yeah.
You've actually wrapped up 2 of the answers, I think, here. Well, technically,
I'll go first aid bag.
First aid bag, yes, including tape. As long as it includes tape, you can have that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Jonny, last one over to you.
Right, so can I just confirm that helmets is classed as equipment? So can I confirm that one, yeah?
It's not a technicality. Think about what Vernon was just saying around the medical theme, and you might be in with a chance.
Paramedics.
Paramedics is the final answer. Good answer. Ding, ding, ding. That takes it to 3-2. So Vernon is 1-0 up in the series. Sorry.
We'll play again next week.
Play again next week. Next, the final one we've got is, I just like this one. Famous football coaching cliches. Famous coaching cliches. So it's all related to football. So think about when you played, at training, all that kind of stuff. What have you heard from the coaches?
Oh, it's got to be do your job.
Classic.
Stinks of cliche.
Stinker. Absolute straight off. Do your job. They're probably the most famous one.
It really is.
Next man up.
Next. Classic. Yes.
Who doesn't say next man up?
That is it. Next man up. Classic. Yeah.
Football.
Yeah. 1-0.
Here's a good one for you. Don't get mad, get even.
Oh, that's not one of the ones I had. It's a good guess. It's
like
not there. I think that's more of a life one. It's a life one, that, isn't it? It's a good life one, but it's close, but it's not the right answer.
Oh, it's up there.
It's up there.
I'll give it to yourself.
A chance to steal.
It's a game of inches.
It should be up there. This is more coaching terminology. So I'm just going to tell you guys to think more about what the coach would say to you. I suppose might be a key. Back to you, man.
Have you not learnt your playbook?
Yeah, that's always a good one.
It's always a good one. It's not there. The ones we're looking for just aren't there. Sorry, lads.
Go on. What are the answers? What have you got?
Still right. So the next one we have is lowest man wins.
Fucking course it is.
Classic. That was our number one answer. That was.
Yeah.
Lowest man wins.
Yeah, and you touched on this before. The next one, heads up football.
Oh,
Got to play heads up football in this day and age, aren't you?
We're talking technique, one of which none of us have.
No, and then the final one, coaching cliche, absolute vintage defense one, bend don't break.
Oh yeah, bend don't break.
Bend don't break. Bend don't break. That's it.
Bend don't break always works.
Any other coaching cliches? Get them in the comments, and we'll have to read them out. I think we obviously don't want to keep you too much longer, Vernon. I think you've been fantastic.
yeah, my dinner's ready. Hurry up.
Being on for that long, so we're just going to go into the British game and how we could grow it. But I think obviously we've touched on it a little bit. What do you see as where the British game needs to go? If you just give a final closing thought, really, on where do you see the game going, and what do we need to do to get that to where it needs to be?
Well, like I said before, we all need to be honest and accept what Britball is. Like I've had this debate on Twitter, which is never a good place for a debate. But like after one Britball final, someone said, "Yeah, that was a great game. It should be on the BBC." It's like, behave yourself. You know, we're talking about an amateur sport which in its final has like 5 men and a dog in the crowd. Well, sorry, 5 men, a dog, and 20 Tamworth Phoenix fans blowing a There's only one place where those boo-boo
I wasn't laughing, Jason.
Well, Jonny's shows could show you that.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah, so I think we all need to accept what Britball is. You know, there's a lot of people who have really high expectations of what we are as a community. It needs stripping back. And like I said before, we need a 5, 10 and 15-year plan on how the game is going to develop. I don't think American football will ever be taught in schools, unfortunately. So it's up to us and your local team, your coaches, to push in the community and advertise ourselves as a team to get new players, because that cycle of players can't stop. Because once it's done, it's game over, you know, and no one likes to see a team fold. So we need to spark and maintain interest in the British game. And I think once we get a big corporate sponsor, and I know it's difficult and it's a big ask, but way back when I played for the Manchester All-Stars, Budweiser sponsored Britball, and apparently they gave a lot of money for development of the UK game. And the NFL adopted one British American football team each. So every NFL team adopted a UK team. I think the All-Stars were adopted by the Minnesota Vikings, and they helped the development of that local team. And I think you know, if the NFL offer invest in the UK game, it has to be a very well-written document with precise goals and exactly what they want to achieve. Is it about growing awareness of the game? Is it about growing regional player development? Is it about getting more people in cleats or playing flag football? And how does that relationship work between the NFL UK and BAFA? That needs sorting out. I think we need to somehow inject more money into the local game. Like I remember playing Ipswich Cardinals, and they had like 1,000,001 sponsors. They did it properly, you know. And if you look at the European teams, like the German teams, there isn't an inch spare on any uniform because it's just covered in advertising. Albeit that their national game is bigger than ours, but still, you know, we can take a page out of their book. So I think it's all about raising awareness, raising money, keeping the interest of guys like you and I, but also bringing younger players. Youth development is really important. There's a lot to be done, but I think that the tightness of this Britball community, I think we can do it. I really do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it can't just be left to. I think a lot of people point fingers at BAFTA, don't they? And go, they need to do more. It's always pointing fingers elsewhere.
Listen, that annoys me, right? It's always BAFTA's fault. All you've got to do is you keep your own stuff in order. You get your player development working. You develop your youth team. Get that program working. Build a good organisation. And if you've got a great organisation that's well managed with a consistent influx of players, then BAFTA will take care of itself. People can't rely on BAFTA to do the job. You look after your locker, and then BAFTA will look after the changing rooms. Simple as that.
Almost like Manchester Titans.
No, it's true though, isn't it? It's about you got to look internally.
Well, that's what the league does. Exactly.
Right. Well, I think what we'll do, Vernon. Obviously, your tea's nearly done. As you can hear, mine was being made. Just wanted to give you a massive thanks for coming on. You're obviously welcome on anytime. I'm sorry if you now get if you get an influx of people now messaging you saying, "We come on my podcast, we come on my podcast." I do apologise. But you know,
I don't mind. I'm happy to anything Britball related. I am more than happy to get involved because I think it's the passion that always ignites me about Britball. It's and I've seen it from when I first started playing in 1988, and that's why I get so excited. I know I keep banging on about it. That's why I get so excited about the Blitz and the Warriors. I hope the Blitz do come good. I hope that rivalry isn't a 40-point deficit. I hope it's a 7-7 game again, which means that both teams are doing exactly the right thing. They're both competing, and because it's brought me so much joy, and I know that there's a lot of kids out there who are waiting to discover American football, and I think we as a community can really ignite the fires and hopefully get them to step away from football or rugby or swimming or any other sport. And then what I was talking about before, it's down to your local coaches and your local teams to maintain the attention of those kids, and that will grow the sport. And I'm talking from experience because that's what happened to me. I had great coaches. We were a rubbish American football team. We really were. But we had great organisation, great coaches who in basics very, very, very well. And that's what is important in British American football.
I suppose last question for you.
So I get off
would you? Get off that soapbox. Get that back down here with the rest of us. Would you ever come back into the game in any kind of coaching capacity or be involved, or are you just happy with the time you've got?
Jesus, I couldn't walk into the Warriors in any coaching capacity, but I love assisting when I go down and watch. Because I love getting involved. I just love chucking a football.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I have ever since 40 football. So any opportunity to get on the field and launch a football fast, DBs.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, mate. You're welcome back anytime. I'll probably hit you up in a couple of months to come back on anyway. So you're more than welcome at any point. So again, thanks so much for coming on, Vern. We'll let you go now. But thank you very much, bud.
Thanks, Vernon.
Is he purposely done that, or is he from?
Yes!
Got him!
Oh.
I've got the power to just remove him from the screen. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
No, cheers, bud. Thanks very much.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate that.
Brilliant.
Enjoy your tea.
No worries. Lovely to see you again, pal.
Nice to see you, mate. Yeah, we'd close on this turn.
See you, gang.
Cheers, pal. Thank
See you later. Cheers. Bye-bye. Well, there we go, bud.
What a lad. What an absolute lad.
I tell you what, he's absolutely had our keckers down there, hasn't he? Absolutely kecks down.
That's just...
Not in the way we like.
No, I mean, I have been down in many ways, but no, he's, I think, especially for the guys that are, and girls that are watching, and my mum that are watching tonight, I think this will be massive in terms of what they thought he was like, what they thought he might have not been like. What an absolute guy! What a legend! Like not once did I ever kind of think he's going to be like us. He's going to be, down with the boys and stuff. But no, he just
tried to do it. Then I don't know. Did it?
Legend. No, you can't get me now.
Yeah, you can't get me. Not twice.
You got me, but not again.
Yeah. No. What? Yeah, Joe there. What a finish! What a boy! He's absolutely done us there.
Do you think he doesn't like the Blitz?
I mean, it came across that he's not a fan of the Blitz. I didn't think he was overly fond of the Phoenix there either.
No.
Not rave reviews. I think, like most of us in the UK, it's Titans or Warriors. That's, I think, the way it should be. I think if you're going to form allegiance, it should either be the Manchester Titans or the London Warriors, and let us two scrap it out. Blitz guys just go over to the Warriors. Mersey guys, Sheffield guys, Tamworth guys just grow up and come to the Titans, and then we'll just play them year in year. That'll be the game, won't it?
Absolutely.
Bloody nonsense, isn't it?
That's it.
No, but I think as we've both battled through tonight, what a great show. Absolute pleasure to have you on, mate.
Thank you.
I think we'll wrap this on for an early dart, knock it on the head. Obviously, we'll reshare this. Anyone, obviously, it's gone live now. Feel free to share, so we can continue to grow. The more people we get watching, we can continue to get good guests on. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Jonny, thanks again. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it. Do the whole share, like, subscribe, all that crap. But yeah, thanks very much, guys. And we're back next week. We've got a pretty big announcement coming on Wednesday. You might notice in the bottom right corner of the screen. And then next week, we're going to take a deep dive into a more serious topic. I was a bit lighthearted this week, but next week, we're going to be talking about mental health in the sport. Are we doing enough? Do we talk enough? Are we open enough? Where does bullying and banter cross the line? If you want to come on the show next week, we are opening that up to people just to pop on, share the story and go off. Anything around mental health and how we can support. So we're not going to be diagnosing people or supporting people in that, but it's just giving people a platform to share with the Britball community what they've been through and how maybe football's helped, hindered. I'm going to take a deep dive into that. We've got Wayne Hill on next week. Wayne Drew from Lifting the Lid. So it's going to be a great one. And then obviously we've got a couple of other people going to pop on and talk about different things. So thanks again for watching, and we'll look forward to speaking to you all next week.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, Jonny. Thanks, mate. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.